Hey y'all, it's Perkyy. Another reaction to these conspiracy theories on TikTok that'll make you question reality. I'm very excited for these. I be learning so much. I just feel like it's never ending knowledge. Like you be thinking you got a topic on point and then somebody sends a video and it expounds 10 times more. So again, appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart for sending these over. The link is in the description. But without further ado, we are gonna go ahead and get into today's video.
I think that we got so caught up in school being a tradition that we stopped using it as a learning tool, which it should be. Like, up to this day, I mean, school should be, I think there should be a different curriculum in each and every, like, neighborhood, you know? Because I'm going to Tamalpais High, and I'm learning about the basics, but they're not basic for me, you know? And it's like, they're not, to get us ready for today's world, that's not helping. It's just what they took, so it's what we're gonna take, you know? And that's why the streets have taught me. And but school is really important. Reading, writing, and
it's just so crazy to hear and see him go from this to like the thug lifestyle that he had. I don't know. That's deep. It's interesting. I'm gonna let the video play out, but just to see the difference is crazy.
Arithmetic. But I think after you learn reading, writing, and arithmetic, that's it. But what they tend to do is teach you reading, writing, and arithmetic, then teach you reading and writing and arithmetic again, then again, just making it harder and harder, just so to keep you busy. And that's where I think they messed up. There should be a class on drugs. There should be a class on sex education, a real sex education class, not just pictures and diaphragms and unlogical terms and things like that. There should be a drug class. There should be sex education. There should be a class on scams. There should be a class on religious cults. There should be a class on police brutality. There should be a class on apartheid. There should be a class on racism in America. There should be a class on why people are hungry, but they're not. Their classes on gym.
Something don't matter.
Physical education. Let's learn volleyball. Because one day we're going to, you know, it's their classes like algebra, where I've yet to go to the store and said, can I have X, Y plus 2 and give me my Y change back, thank you. You know, I think you could let me out. I've lived alone by myself, and the things that helped me were the things that I learned from my mother and from the streets. And reading has helped me. I mean, school has taught me reading, which is I love reading, writing, and arithmetic.
He was so smart.
Like foreign languages, I think they're important, but I don't think it should be required because actually they should be teaching you English and then teaching you how to understand double talk, politicians double talk, not teaching you how to understand French and Spanish and German. When am I going to Germany? I can't afford to pay my rent in America. How am I going to Germany? You know, this is what I mean by the basics and not the basics for me. And I think that it should be like college. You can go and take the classes that you want. And I think that like elementary school should be that way, where they give you the classes you should take for the basics. And then junior high school and high school should be the classes that you need in order to choose your path. Ancient civilizations have survived without going to schools like this. I mean, they've learned from their past. We're not being taught to deal with the world as it is. We're being taught to deal with this fairyland, which we're not even living in anymore. And it's sad. Because I'm telling you, and it should not be me telling you. It should be common knowledge. Aren't they wondering why death rates are going up and suicide is going up and drug abuse? Aren't they wondering? Don't they understand that more people are, I mean, more kids are being handed crack than they're being handed diplomas?
Sad.
I mean, it shouldn't, I mean, like, okay, in school we're learning to analyze. And then, well, I learned it, now they should relearn it. I think adults should go through school again. You know, I think that rich people should live like poor people and poor people should live like rich people, and it should change every week. And we'll have the best rounded people and we'll be able to deal with people. I mean, everywhere.
Keep going somewhere with that.
Civilizations, look how we grew. You know, and I think we need to learn from our mistakes and stop just going through emotions, which we're doing now. It's like we're waiting for some big button to be pushed. Or something like that.
Two things. I was put on his face so that y'all have something to look at because I don't want y'all looking at the end screen. But two things. One is the way he talks, like his demeanor is different. So I don't know this Tupac. I know the thug life tatted across his, you know what I'm saying, his stomach. That's the Tupac I know. So seeing this is very interesting. I know you're like, how did you not? Because I don't be looking, I don't study celebrities. I just don't. But this was beautiful. I've never seen this video, never ran across it, never even kind of seen his younger days. Yes, I seen the movie, but the movie still doesn't even touch this aspect of his life like that. So his demeanor is different. So I'm looking the way you talk, I'm like, wow, how did this? A man talking about education, how it should be, how it's common sense, but it's not common. All this. How did he go from this to this thug? What happened? I'm missing the middle part. I'm seeing this one that's all about education and how the school system should be operated, and then I see the thug life, the shoot 'em up. Y'all know his song. I don't gotta go into it. I'm about to say the whole Biggie diss that he did. I'm missing the middle part of what happened between the transition between that and that. So thank you in advance for the people that's gonna comment, because you guys, one thing about y'all got my back when it comes to commenting on stuff. I be like, there's things I just don't know, but you guys will go and you guys will answer it for me. So thank you in advance. The second thing is, I wholeheartedly agree. I'm very big on this topic, and I have said this before in multiple videos, that the school system has taught me nothing, but it's taught me everything. School system didn't teach me how money works. School system didn't teach me about jobs, how to cook, how to clean, how to be a mother, how to be a daughter of the Most High, all these things, how to drive, but they taught me A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Stuff that doesn't make sense. The history that we were even taught in school isn't even real history. That's distorted, flipped, and manipulated, but that's another story for another day. Video sent over by DeAndre.
The greatest hoaxes in human history. But first, a short explanation of what we're dealing with. Paleontology. The study of the origin and development of life. Paleontology is the study of life's formation and development. The paleontological scientific approach is explained on Wikipedia as follows. Quote, when attempting to explain earlier phenomena, paleontologists and other scientists of history construct a set of hypotheses addressing the causes, and then look for a smoking gun, a piece of evidence that indicates that one hypothesis is a better explanation than others. Sometimes the smoking gun is discovered by happy coincidence during another investigation. This explanation is entirely consistent with the way paleontology works in practice, but it should be obvious to anyone capable of critical thinking that the paleontological establishment can control which hypotheses will be constructed. A short practical example. A random dental bone is found at an excavation site, and from this dental bone, the rest of the skeleton is guessed at. We are not kidding about this. The entire dinosaurian field of the paleontological program is a sham. It was the English paleontologist Richard Owen who in 1842 coined the term dinosaur. The phenomenon was then gradually promoted in the mainstream press all over the world, which told of these dinosaur creatures. In 1854, a few years after the word dinosaur was invented and the concept presented in popular articles in the biggest American newspapers, the first dinosaur was discovered in North America by fossil hunter Ferdinand Vanderveer Hayden. Most people believe that dinosaur skeletons displayed in museums consist of real dinosaur bones. This is not the case.
Oh.
The real bones are incarcerated in thick vaults to which only a few select
They stopped it. They always stop it at the perfect time. I was going to say that there was a video that I react to, so it kind of makes me look at dinosaurs in a different limelight. The dinosaur word didn't exist until like the 1800s, right? Like the late 1800s or the middle, late 1800s. But they said that dinosaurs weren't a thing, that dinosaurs were actually dragons. And ever since they said that, I'm like, you're right. You're onto something. So again, they're all conspiracy theories. I'm just saying. So don't get your panties in a bunch. I just thought that was very interesting where they said dinosaurs, we don't think that they existed. We actually think that they were dragons.
3 years after 9/11, they released a movie called The Day After Tomorrow.
According to Jonathan Kleck,
oh wow,
if you fold the $100 bill in the same way as you folded the previous $20 bill with the 9/11 symbolism, it actually shows nuclear devastation and then some kind of tidal wave flooding through New
hidden
York
in
as seen
plain
in the movie
sight.
The Day After Tomorrow. You can see it on screen now.
What the heck?
Around 2015, an image of Kali was shown on the Empire State Building. Kali is the goddess of death. The movie Watchmen had a scene in the movie where Dr. Manhattan's talent or energy was reproduced where a nuclear type explosion blew up New York. Dark Knight Rises, where they brought an atomic bomb within city limits, shut off the bridges for anybody escaping, but Batman dumped the bomb into the ocean. Look at the buildings in the background. Gotham is basically New York City. You see everything is burning as if it was attacked by a nuclear bomb. The Batman, same thing. Look at the background. The city's in flames. Gotham is, like again I said, like New York City. This time, you saw a flood during the presidential election of a specific candidate. Super Mario Brothers, the movie that just came out.
I didn't see that
If you watch the movie with your kids, take note of the flood that happens in Brooklyn. And at the end of the movie, you see Bullet Bill being launched, a gigantic Bullet Bill at that, being launched into the tunnel, and they end the scene in New York City. They're predictive programming that something's going to happen in New York City, just like they predicted programmed 9/11.
Rothschilds come from the Orsini family. Roth means red in German, and the Orsini means red bear, little red bears. That's what Orsini means. The Grey Pope is Pepe Orsini. He trumps the black, he trumps the white Pope.
The Grey Pope is even higher than the black and the white Pope.
The Orsini is the Maxima family. They are the maximum family. They are on top. And somehow they've trumped the Colonna and the Farnese, which I know without any doubt through all my studies that they are the three most powerful Illuminati.
What about Rothschild and Rockefeller?
Well, they are Orsini. They just changed their name. Rockefeller were Rothschilds. Rothschilds were Orsini. Orsini were a family which have their lines in Babylon and Egypt. They tell you that. You read their biographies. They'll tell you that. We go back to Nimrod. They tell you that. The Rothschilds say that. We go back to Nimrod. How? Through the Orsini. So Rockefeller, Rothschild, Orsini, and then you go back to the Persian and Egyptian dynasties.
I don't give a about none of the religions. Ain't none of them worth shit. Okay? Now let me prove it to you. The only thing religion has ever done successfully is divide people.
Ooh.
Don't take my word. Look at it yourself if you can tell yourself the truth. Okay? Religion divides people. There ain't but one God. And can't none of these religions get along. Pay attention, God. That's why you got all these different churches. Now let me quote scripture, since that's all. Folks say, why use scripture since you don't believe in religion? I said, because the only thing my people think they know. Okay? Think about this, okay? If God is our Father, okay? Scripture says I must be about my Father's business. As I look through this world, because Scripture says I must be about my Father's business. As I look through this world, I see Satan's children working full-time plus for their daddy. We the children of the Most High.
You won't believe what the hospitals are doing with black women's placentas. Did you know that all over the world, black mothers are being exploited in hospitals for the rich and the wealthy? There are rich people who need new hearts and organs and are using technology to generate them by using high-quality blood tissues and melanin. And where do you think they're getting this blood tissue and melanin from? From black women in hospitals after they had babies. When they have you signing these papers in a hospital, you are actually giving them the right to become a trustee and take your placenta, umbilical cord, and cord blood. Then they sell them to companies like Life Bank USA and Celgene. Life Bank USA buys all the blood, the cords, and the placentas. Celgene takes the melanin and blood from those and give them to a chemist to clone it and create new organs. So while women out here struggling to make ends meet on welfare, Section 8, and things of that nature, these Fortune 500 companies are banking off them and making billions.
Money. Everything roots back, ties back into money. When is it going to be enough? It never will be, because that's what happens when you chase the world. It's always going to be a void. Shout out to Orlandis.
Sometime we do 10 episodes for my show, and in this last season, I was hitting a block, right? I was like, oh, I'm not doing it right? So then I went in the corner, and then I was looking at the wall, and I was like, come on, devil, right? Come to me, because I had to do something like crazy, right? Had nightmares for a month. So it does come
to it or after?
After. Like I had nightmares every day. Like I felt that energy.
Oh, interesting.
You know, and I had to pray and do all this stuff to like get rid of it. And you know, you call your mom up and you're like, bring me back to life. And that stuff is real.
All that to play a role.
Never educate a person you're going to dominate. That's a no-no.
you train them. So we're trained to hold jobs. We're trained to be taught a certain way. We're not trained so that you can begin to create. And yet, blacks create everything you can think of. You go back through the list of inventions by black, almost everything you find out there was invented by a black person.
How many people drink water?
Good question.
Nowadays. So you see a lot of people drinking all kinds of things, like coffee, tea, sodas. All of them are dehydrators. Sport drinks. Anything that has sugar in it will dehydrate because it is a contaminant. The body is trying to defend itself. It's an acid. So the body will defend itself. Caffeine, for example, is a nerve toxin. So nerve toxins require water to transport it out of the system. So for every cup of coffee, your body will have to give up about 3 cups of water. Where's the water coming from? It's from the cells. So then you're putting in all that water into the blood so that it can take out the caffeine, and then the cells become dehydrated. You don't realize that, and you drink more coffee because you're thirsty, or drink another Coke or something that has caffeine in, or a sports drink, or the new drinks that have 4 times more caffeine than even Coke has in it, and people get stimulated. Whatever stimulates you dehydrates you.
Whatever stimulates you dehydrates you. I want to give a shout out to my More because I don't want to say too much, but I just basically got put on to knowledge and wisdom about how important water is. Not only is it important for the body, but you have to look at how much you use water. Literally, how you wash your clothes, how you wash the dishes, how you wash yourself, how you drink it. The body is made of 70% water. So just think about if water was cut. I'm only telling you this because these are the things that you take for granted because you have it. When it's gone, you're going to realize and think back of the times of all the times that you took this for granted. Don't take water for granted. I'm trying to get you guys in the mindset now of cherish water while you have it, because again, it's the little things that when those are taken out, it plays a huge role in your life. But again, shout out to my More put us on, and it just really made me look at water differently, especially since we're made 70% of it. In a nutshell, appreciate and do not take it for granted when it comes to water.
You know, sad to say, as you know, if you want to talk to somebody well informed about diet, don't ask a doctor. They know plenty about drugs and procedures. They know next to nothing about diet and nutrition.
You were, as a cardiologist, what was your training in nutrition?
Virtually nothing. Lots of interest, but the formal training could be measured in minutes. So that's a sad reflection of the focus of conventional healthcare. That there's plenty of time spent on pharmacology and procedures and acute catastrophic care. There's virtually nothing taught about nutrition.
You don't say.
Sadly, often formal nutrition is so colored by industry and their agenda that maybe it's good that physicians are not educated in nutrition, because it would be sadly colored by industry.
Y'all, we talked about this. Remember, I told you, like, there's a couple videos that we have reacted to, but I'm trying to remember the one. It's so much, so I low-key could just put all of them in a nutshell together. But the doctors are only going to prescribe because that's all they know to do. That's literally all they know to do, is to prescribe you with things to make you keep coming back for stuff, when in reality they can't tell you, oh, that's your problem? All you need to get rid of is gluten. Oh, you got to get rid of carbs. You know what? Try a fruit diet. Try a fruit fast. Matter of fact, fast. They're not going to tell you that because they're trained, and it's not their fault. It's the school system's fault. But that's another story for another day. But they're trained to, okay, this happens, boom, this pill. This pill goes with this symptom. This pill goes with this. This pill goes with this. Instead of nutrition. This is the food you need. This is food you got to add into your diet. This is the food that you have to take out. I take this ingredient out. So that's deep. It just kind of, again, expounds on something that we already knew.
I'm trying to tell you, secret societies, they control the news, they control the media, they control the weather.
Oh my gosh, this is how it is, y'all. We got the laughing stock of the family. This is funny. This is funny.
You finished?
Yeah. But you have to admit, that was pretty funny.
Oh, man. That is so true.
I would say that nothing in this world works the way you think it does. Nothing. Governments do not operate the way you think they do. Banks do not do what you think they do. The police department is not here for what you think it is. Nothing in your world works the way you think it does. There's a far higher, bigger picture going on the earth for at least 7,000 years of human history that we modern day people really just don't relate to. All we know is what we live with today, never suspecting that the institutions of power, banking, education, the military-industrial complex of the world has taken hundreds of years to develop.
Taking hundreds of years to develop. This is not overnight, y'all.
We're seeing a society that not only has a lot more people of lower IQ, but a lot fewer people of higher IQ. In other words, a dumbing down, a chemical dumbing down of society. So everyone's sort of mediocre. That leaves them dependent on government because they can't excel. We have these people of lower IQ who are totally dependent. Then we have this mass of people who are going to believe anything they're told because they can't really think clearly. And very few people of very high IQ who have good cognitive function who can figure this all out. And that's what they want. So, you know, you can kind of piece it together as to why they are so insistent in spending so many hundreds of millions of dollars of propaganda money to dumb down society.
Something. Propaganda is the most scariest thing this world is under, because it's so true. They pay hundreds of millions of dollars, just in case my mic didn't pick up on that, to push out an agenda, a dumb agenda at that. Oh, this is every time we scroll down this list, y'all videos just get deeper and deeper, I promise you. So I appreciate you guys, each and every single one of you guys, from the bottom of my heart, for sending these over again. It would be no videos like this if it wasn't for you guys sending them over. So thank you guys. I literally love and appreciate you guys. If you want your video in this video, link is in the description. Click it, add the Discord. Go ahead and go to the conspiracy theory thread and add your videos. Not in the general, because a lot of people post in the general, the conspiracy theory thread, okay? Because that's where, you know, the Discord it's categorized, and I want to make sure that we're putting stuff where it needs to go. So I appreciate you in advance. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. All esteem, all glory, all honor, and all kabod goes to my Lord Yahuwah, my Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach, for working in and through me. This is their channel. This is not mine. I'm just a vessel that they're using, so I'm blessed, grateful, and appreciative. Got to give credit and honor where it's due. But that's it for today's video. This was a long one, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all have a blessed one. I'll see you on the next one. Shalom, shalom.
You can't bring me down. I know who I belong to. Yeah. What? I won't sell